Happy New Year, Mocha Mavens. If you haven't tapped into episode 502 part 1, please go back and listen and watch. So that was some of like our personal, things that we've accomplished or that stood out for the year. But one of the things that was really fun about our holiday episode last year, and I think that people ate up, was like the cultural like artifacts section of the show where we talked about think about 30 years from now, when you think about 2023, like what is going to stand out to you?
Yeah.
Pop culture wise or cultural wise in general.
Right.
So just like you be putting the spot on me, I'm gonna put the spot on you.
That's cool. I got it. One of the things that really, I guess, in culture and society or whatever, that I feel like is going to be talked about for a long time and thought about for a long time is the SAG strikes.
Yeah.
And we just came to a resolution for that very recently, but it really made me think. Now, I'm a big TV junkie, but like comfort shows, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And it was different this time because, of course, we had back in the early 2000s-ish, we had like the writer's strike. And I was little, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't, first of all, I don't even think online was that big of a thing that I could be online and on Twitter and say like, oh, this is why, my girlfriends got canceled. Or this is why like, but now to see that like, dang, Abbott Elementary is not filming. Ooh. Stranger Things is pushed back. Again, like to see the effects of my experience, and not only my experience, but to see the effects of the actors and the writers that are actually impacted was really, really wild to me. Love that word. I think that, I don't know, I just feel like it was very pivotal this time because it was so much more knowledge going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the big higher ups, you couldn't cover up that they were money hungry as easily as they did last time. Like, and I just think that, again, kind of like my favorite shows, it's going to affect a lot of what happens when it comes to media
for sure
for years to come. And so that's one thing that I really, really think about when I think about 2023. Like, man, we truly had like a strike and thank goodness, like they were able to come to some sort of resolution that hopefully is in favor of the people who need it, who are actually providing the value to these shows and to these networks. But I think that, it's so much more to see kind of what happens. I'm a huge reality TV person, and that wouldn't have been a thing if the strike from back in the 2000s didn't happen. True. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't have had all those VH1 because they didn't have no writers. So they're like, let's go into reality. You know what I mean? Dang. So I'm curious to see kind of what effect it's gonna have now. Right. In a couple years later. Yeah. So
to be honest, I kind of wanted to happen in other areas. Like
speak on it.
Music business.
Speak on it.
You guys know I come from an education background. It's just like these big, huge corporations and billionaires at the top just hoarding all of it. And it's like, bruh, like pay people for the work that they do.
Yeah.
Period. That's it when it comes down to it. So I kind of want to see it. I hope that it sparks something.
I'm with that though.
See it
honestly,
in other areas. Shoot, I want to do a freaking rent strike. Nobody pay their rent.
Period.
Something,
I know, seriously. And like
student loans, let's get this popping.
Let me tell you something. We're in the biggest capitalistic society,
it's
bro.
Disgusting.
Nobody hears anything until you hit somebody in their pockets. Like it is like they're hands are plugged into their ears until you start hitting their pockets.
Yep.
So I'm 100% with it. I'm down to go over to, areas where I'm not even affected and pull up a sign. Like, right. I'm not mad at that, bro. Like, I agree. I think we should do that a lot more as a society and not kind of have that culture of like, it's everybody against everybody. When in reality, it's
the big greedy dogs.
It is against everybody else. And they're going to constantly try to keep us suppressed unless we realize that we have the numbers. It's power. A 1% for the reason. You know what I mean? Like, we have the numbers.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, so I like that. Wait, do you want me to do my next one?
Yeah,
okay. The other thing that I think, and maybe it's just me personally, like, it really affected me, but the Barbie movie, y'all. Like, this came from somebody who, I was a Bratz girl as a kid. I was not, buying up Barbies. Sasha. Yeah, literally. And when I heard that it was coming out, I kind of like brushed it to the side. I'm like, I probably ain't gonna, want to see that. Number one, that movie took some crazy awards and records. Like, it broke so many different records, like
across the board.
You know what I mean? Like, it was wild to think about. And and like the impact, like my entire feed was pink for like 3 weeks. I didn't even see it until we actually all saw it together at one of our friends' movie night. And after I watched it, I'm like, bro, this is on the nose when it comes to like good social commentary.
Yeah.
Like, this is not just a frilly movie about dolls.
I didn't know what it was going to be. Right. And I was like, nah, I think I'm cool off of it.
Right. And I'm so glad that like we was able to watch that. Because I'm like, nah, bro. Like, honestly, this is actually a really quality movie. This is something that like, it's relatable. I felt very relatable, like, as a woman, like, watching that, and as a little girl. And I think it did kind of go into like areas where it would heal like that inner little girl of your own. And that's where it played off of like the Barbie doll experience. But then at the same time, like, it's very, relevant to what's going on now, what's going on as an adult.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I think Barbie too, man. Like, and it sound crazy. Like, if you haven't seen it,
on it, and I was like, not my cup of tea.
No, I think I'm like,
no, the movie was really good, and I see why they were going like so hard.
Yeah. I get it.
The promotion, it was everywhere. Like,
I get it.
It was definitely a blockbuster hit that I haven't seen like
it's
that.
It's a quality movie. And like, this is something that like, I don't really have like super younger, like cousins or nieces or nephews or anything like that anymore. But like, I would show like young kids this movie. Like, and I know that they would, especially the boys, would probably think like, I ain't trying to watch. No, but like, it is a good movie. It is something that I think will stick with people who are younger and a little bit more impressionable. And for us, I think it sticks in a different way of, again, just kind of like healing and validating certain things that we feel and that we go through. So
for sure,
I'm gonna say Barbie, man.
Yeah,
a really good movie.
That was good.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, some things that 30 years from now, for me, maybe this is just me in my little bubble and my little world, but y'all know I'm a pop culture head, specifically Black pop culture, and we can no longer say, I can't even say we. I'm taking myself out of that camp. There's a camp of people who argued that R&B was dead.
Yes.
And you can't, there's no way to say that anymore because the R&B girls have taken over.
Yeah.
Like, it's at a point where I've not seen it like this, maybe ever. When I think about it, like, so Grammy nominations just dropped recently, and it's been moving for me to see, like, first of all, the two most nominated people are Black women, SZA and Victoria Monet.
Shout out to them.
Now SZA's huge, like, crossover.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of anticipated that. Victoria Monet, she was like underdog, like to the point where the Video Music Awards on MTV were like, oh no, like,
I'm about to say that was that year, right?
Year, months prior to her getting all of these nominations for the VMAs. They were like, I mean, for the Grammys, excuse me. They're like, oh, it's a little too early in your story to perform.
Now look at y'all.
Stupid. Egg on your face.
You're looking so
eating
stupid.
your words, okay? I hope they taste delicious. Chill. Like, chill. But, like,
for real,
to see people who, like, have grinded for so long behind the scenes. Like, Victoria Monet has written for probably all your faves. Right.
And the people you don't even like.
Okay.
And successfully done it.
Successfully.
Like, she's amazing on the pen.
Like, to see her finally be, like, pushed to the forefront and to see her be an artist first. But yeah, like, her pen is still wild, like, wildly good on her own stuff. But to see, like, her no longer just be, like, the pen behind your faves, but see her be, like, front and foremost. Another person that I'm so proud of, like, she's my little sister, is Coco Jones. Like, Disney really did her dirty, pushed her to the side. It's all rooted in colorism when it comes down to it. Because she was coming up with some of the girlies, and it's like, how did she get dropped? And, like, pushed to the wayside. Like, super talented. To see her come up and thinking that she just maybe was done with music, maybe I should just stick to acting, and now look, like, becoming a household name. And then Alex Isley, who y'all know it's my heart. That's like my sister. But to see her come up from, like, the SoundCloud days, been remaining independent for 10 plus years. And at the Grammys, like, just seeing all of these beautiful Black women who have grinded from day one, ground zero, and see them on their way to, like, rightfully get recognized, acclimated, or acclaimed, get their just due, like, even just with the nominations alone, has been beautiful to witness. So, R&B's not dead. The girls are carrying.
Say it.
They are carrying.
You ain't know.
But hey, and then the other thing that I think about when I think about 2023, this one is a little bit more sobering because it's caused me to step outside of, like, my world, and to think about things that don't, like, directly impact me, but have still had an impact on me. And it's the conflict between Israel and Gaza. And it was weighing on me because, like, it kind of jolted me to pay attention to world news. Because I really just be paying attention to, like, my little lane, my little world. But there are things that people are facing. It's shining a light on Zionism. It's shining a light on xenophobia. It's shining a light on racism, on it just so much, right? And I really urge people to, I know not everybody wants to, and it's easy not to because of the world that we live in and the way that our media is consumed. But I urge y'all to really do your research, see what's going on in other parts of the world. Like, lives are being lost. It's so sobering. Like, it really is a perspective changer. When I think about the things that I feel like I struggle with, you know, whether it's mental, emotional stuff or trying to find a job and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, there are other things that people are going through that I couldn't even imagine. So that has like, it's been something that I just can't look away from.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I gotta like look into this. I gotta learn more. I gotta figure out what I can do in my world that impacts, whether it means like cutting out different places that I eat, Starbucks, McDonald's, all of that. Like none of that should be at the expense of somebody else's life, period.
Exactly.
Like if I gotta cut out Starbucks or McDonald's because they're throwing money to, and we're not a political pod, I'm speaking for me, Jackie, myself, because they're throwing money towards funding like genocide. No, I can go without McDonald's and Starbucks. What is that
in comparison to the lives that are being lost, bro?
Man, it really like made me pause and be like, all right, there are things that are going on outside of like your world, outside of the US, like and I think it can be really easy to kind of just treat it like, I don't want to see this. I'm change the channel, right? Like, let me just look at something else. But like, it's not a channel that you can change. Exactly. It's not a video game that you can log out of. It's real life.
Yeah. That's facts. That's facts. So yeah, we definitely encourage you guys to, do your research and be like that where you're getting your information from as well. There's a lot
a big one
of nonsense going on and people trying to distract or trying to fill heads with inaccurate information or block the information that is accurate. So just do your research, be knowledgeable, and just have compassion. It's not really something I think that the American society pushes compassion for others, but just
all
have
the
compassion.
Almighty dollar. Like, that's what it be coming down to over here.
That's facts. That's facts.
Nobody told you to start.
So didn't. Anyway,
she said, "Let's keep this thing
right.
All right, Miss Ma'am."
I think one thing that we can both agree on that is in 30 years,
you don't
and
even
60 years,
you don't even gotta say it.
90 years. Just, when you think of 2023, you will think of the Renaissance.
The runner.
Bro, like, I don't know if I'm not the eloquent one of the two. Like, Jackie is so much more like better with words than I am, but this was my first Beyonce concert, right?
Mine too.
And I can't describe like the feeling, like seeing everybody dressed to the nines, like even me traveling, like I went to Spain to go see her, like seeing the impact that she had outside of my bubble, you know what I mean? Like seeing her on stage, you can tell she was having a good time.
Yeah.
Seeing her oldest child grow from show to show in confidence. It was truly an experience, bro. Like it just, I don't know. It just did something to me. Like we said this last year. We were like, no matter what, it's like Beyonce or bust, bro. Like we literally was like Beyonce or bust. And like, I will never regret like,
ever
whatever I went through to make sure that I was in person to see that. It just truly did something. And I feel like sometimes people think that like people are dramatic when they say that,
it's
but
a
like
real thing.
I promise you, like that entire experience, it wasn't a concert, it wasn't a tour, it really was an experience. Like, and I just, when I look back on this year, that's to me one of the top things that I'm just like, bro, like that could have been under both of our like accomplishment.
Honestly, I'm not even like, it's not cap, y'all. It's it's as serious as we're saying it is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Man.
Woo wee. What do I say about the Renaissance? I think I spoke to a little bit earlier how like I feel like it felt like my inner child was healed.
Yeah.
Like I was sweaty, like not even probably 15 minutes into the show. I lost my voice. Like I'd not danced like that since maybe college, high school prom, like just real carefree.
Yes, that's
it was
a good
so fun.
It was freeing.
It was so fun. Like, and the fans, everybody was so, I was like, I see why we're called the Beehive. Like everybody's so sweet. Mm-hmm. People were like, oh, your outfit's cute. You want me to take a picture? Like, oh, is this your first show? Everybody was like chit chatting. Yeah. They said Atlanta was going to be ratchet and people were going to be fighting. We were all going to get kicked out.
Get
not
out
true,
of here, bro.
Not true.
Atlanta had one of the best shows. Did Atlanta not win the mute contest? I don't know. Like, didn't nobody else get y'all win. So, and I wasn't even there, and I'm still proud. Yeah. Like, nah, bro. Like, that's my city. Like, don't play with us. Like, the Hive is a different group of like fans.
I was like, I don't know if everyone was on their best behavior because it was the queen. You don't want to miss your chance, right? You don't want to get booted out, and now you'd have missed. Yeah. But like, everybody was really sweet. Even I don't know if it was the Mercedes-Benz staff, if they were like, hey, Beyonce's coming, everybody on point. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But everybody from like the place where I got my food to the people who were checking tickets, have a good time. At the end of the night, they were like, make sure you take Uber if you were drinking, hydrate, get wrapped. Yeah. It was love all around. Yeah. And that speaks to the space that she created. Mm-hmm. It was inclusive. I've had my own very interesting relationship with Beyonce. I'll say that because y'all know I've talked about it a time or two before. I was very like churched in college, and I'm ashamed to say, there was a point in time where I was like, is this demonic activity? Is this Illuminati? After getting past that, and especially after attending and seeing the Renaissance, like it was the highest act of somebody taking their purpose and creating a space where everybody feels welcome, where nobody is outcasted. Like, I probably sound real dramatic, but it was like heaven on earth. Like, everybody was welcomed. Everybody felt safe. As a Black woman, that was one of the safest places I've ever felt in a big public. Mind you, 50K people, I think, can fit in the Benz Stadium. Like, didn't feel unsafe not once. Like, and looking around and seeing everybody's joy. And it didn't matter if you were Black, white, if you were straight, if you were gay, if you were... She really did something with that. Like, it was one of the most inclusive spaces I've ever been in. A Beyonce concert. Yeah. I can talk about this all day.
Top tier. Like, nobody's going to forget that.
No.
Nobody's going to forget that.
No.
And luckily, we get to see it again in theaters. So excited. This year, honestly, was, I don't know. I feel very reflective about this year. And I think it's because I've also grown as a person to be more introspective, more extrospective, where I'm like really just reflecting on, the good, the bad, and the in-between. Yeah. Maybe what causes certain things or the effects of certain things. But overall, man, like, I'm very, very happy with 2023. Like, overall, I'm very happy. I'm very happy for the progress that we've made. I'm happy for the, the missteps sometimes. Like, that makes you be a better person. I'm happy for the experiences we got to do. I'm happy for a season 5, and it's been a really good year. Yeah, it really has.
So with 2023 being as fire as it was, it'd be cool to just reflect on like taking that momentum and thinking about like some things that we want to do for next year.
Yeah. I know for me, one of my big things, I just really want to do more unplugging. I want to replace that time, because it's a lot of time that
It's
can
a
be spent
lot.
on social media with fitness, with nature, with books, with people, you know, loved ones. Like, I really want to get unplugged a lot more regularly next year. I want to celebrate myself next
Rightfully
year.
so,
It's
as
the
you
big
should.
30 for me.
Milestones,
so excited for
baby.
that.
Milestones.
So excited. Look, I'm here. I'm ready for 30. Okay. Like, marriage on the way as
Come
well.
on.
So all of that. Two big big
growth, man.
celebrations next year. So I definitely want to be able to celebrate myself as well. And just be more intentional, I think, overall. Like, I know sometimes it's very easy for me to kind of get on autopilot.
Yeah.
And I really want to work next year on just being a bit more intentional in all areas.
Is that your word for the year?
I like
you be
that.
having words for the year.
Yeah, like, I'm more of a word of the year than a list of
resolutions.
I think intentionality would be a good one for me.
We're going to stamp it.
Right.
So next back a year from now. She knocked Elevated out of the park.
Thank you. Let's see what we can do with intentionality. I'm down for it.
I didn't mean to put that on you.
No, it's good. I like it.
I didn't mean to put that on you. Man.
What about you?
Mine are like not necessarily like measurable or tangible. Like, as time goes on, maybe I'll figure out how to do that, how to like quantify it, or I don't know. But I'm laughing because they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So stop shrinking and hiding.
Yes.
You see, she literally had to like pull tapes out of me. Like, girl, talk about tapes.
Let's stop. let's get it right.
So stop shrinking and hiding.
Yes.
We went to one music fest. We saw Duran Bernard, who is just a
shout out.
A force.
Shout out.
And he was talking about how like humility, by its definition, is to think like lowly of yourself.
Yeah.
Kinda. Not kinda. It is.
It is. Yeah.
And to operate from a place of thankfulness and gratitude. And I think I've worn this, like, I'm humble, I'm modest badge for so long that it makes me like
shrink up into yourself.
Right.
That's fast.
So that's one. And then the other is to be more kind to me, which I know sounds ridiculous.
No, it does not.
So nice.
It does not.
But some of the things that I say to myself up here, I would never say to like Shawnee.
Yeah.
I would never say to my friends. I would never say to my husband.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you telling yourself these things? And
that's deep.
My therapist called me on it and she was like, we're going to list out 10 not nice things you say to yourself. We're going to rank them. All right. Top 1, 2, 3. Let's redirect. Let's reword like these things that you say to yourself, talking about you're too old. You've missed the boat. That the market is oversaturated. She's like, how many wing spots in Atlanta? You think that Wingstop is not going to set up because touchdown is right there? No.
Shout
Girl,
out
stop
to
it.
her therapist. She be hitting
she be on my neck, gasping for air.
I love it. Yes, that's a great way to look at that, bro.
So yeah, just like different things that I tell myself that it does no benefit to me. Like it keeps me stagnant and or pulls me back. So yeah, stop shrinking and be more kind. I give y'all full permission to hold me accountable.
Yes.
To put my content out, to share it. I'll share something once and be like, okay, like,
that's all I need for the rest of the year.
Nobody's gonna see that, bro.
Yeah.
So to do, be better in those areas.
Love that.
Yeah, man. So I think to sum it all up, the Mocha message comes from a licensed family and therapy psychologist. Her name is Shauna Soderston. And I got this quote from a book that I was reading. And I don't want to misquote, so I'm gonna read it. The Mocha message is: everybody's job is to steward their own life experiences. And that means discovering who you are and all the things that bring you pleasure and joy. And feel aligned with you and also give you a sense of purpose. And I think like you think about this whole episode, like that's what it came down to. Like joy, pleasure, sense of purpose, things that like fill you. So that I was like, we gotta leave the people with that one.
I love that. Man, I love that. As we close, y'all, we just really want to wish you guys well. Like we love our Mogul Mavens. We want to encourage you guys to continue to do your own self-introspection. Continue to call out things that aren't good for you or aren't helping you along your journey and release those. We definitely want to encourage you guys that if you ever need, a person to talk to, we got some DMs. They DMs, open.
Comments.
If you need them. And with all of this, be sure to send this to a friend, a loved one, a coworker, all three. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Leave a comment giving you we're gonna do our own homework. Shout out to therapy. Let's list 3 in the comments. Let's list 3 personal achievements that you had in 2023. Because we want to celebrate each other.
Yes.
And with that, we will definitely catch you guys in 2024.
Whoa,
crazy.
Whoa. I just got used to saying 2023. Cool.
As always, we love you guys. And we will talk to you in the next episode.
All right.
Bye.
Till next time.